We'd just be rambling on.
I didn't realize we had, I don't know, I just thought it was Meyer.
No, there's, how many railroad cops we have?
I know.
There's one who lives across on.
They're working, well, they're working.
And there's two sergeants and a chief, and I think a regular cop, so there's at least four.
Really?
There's a bunch of them here over Oktoberfest. I mean.
Yeah,
Give people time to jump on.
they were measuring back there.
Yeah, I don't have a name.
You won't know who you are.
You're nameless. Get the right one.
That might be better.
Now it's official.
I think they know you by now.
Good evening and welcome to the Manteno Village Board meeting for Monday, April 18th, 2022. Let's call the meeting to order, and if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Boyce?
Here.
Martin?
Here.
Dole?
Here.
Crockett?
Here.
Geske?
Here.
Phillips?
Here.
Quorum tonight. We begin as always with the approval of the minutes. In your packet, everyone should have had the minutes from the April 4th board meeting. And hopefully everyone's had the opportunity to review them. Are there any changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Anything at all? Nothing? Seeing nothing, I'd accept a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented by the clerk.
Make that.
Motion by Boyce.
Second.
Second by Crockett. Roll call.
Boyce?
Yes.
Crockett?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Public participation. Do we have anyone that signed up to address the board?
We do not.
Okay. Village President's Report, just a couple items we have tonight. Today they started construction on the Division Street, which we've been talking about for a period of time. It's just going to be a milling and paving, repaving Division Street from Route 50 over to Walnut. Basically Route 50 to east or westbound to the library corner. And they've got most of the milling done today. It looks like if the weather stays halfway decent that they'll be able to get done in 3 to 4 days, but hopefully for sure this week if, it all depends on the weather. So they're only going the 4-block, area, and this is all being done by the county of Kankakee. It's something that they've had in the books and they had in the plans for a long time. So hopefully that'll continue and get it done, like I say, in a timely fashion. But just kind of a heads up, construction season's starting and there's construction all over. I mean, I know I-57 is being closed at nighttime this week for different construction projects they have in Kankakee County. Down in Bourbonnais, they've got Armour Road and overpasses, is getting reconstructed. You're going to see a ton of road construction projects over the course of this summer. Manteno, we've got a number of them too that are on the books that are going to be taking place. So, get ready for a lot of construction. Give yourself plenty of time to get places. You're probably going to be detoured over the course of the summer in a lot of different directions, but please be patient. These are obviously projects that have been a long time being planned and they're never easy to do any time of the year. But this is the time of the year in Illinois that things have to get done. So the roads all are definitely in need of repair. So it's good to get these projects going. The only other item that I have for tonight is this is our last board meeting for the fiscal year. Our fiscal year runs from May 1st to April 30th. This is our last board meeting for April. And so tonight we have under consideration a motion to approve all the liquor license, liquor, amusement, and video gaming license for the FY 22-23 year. These are all licenses the same licenses that are currently outstanding. There's no new licenses that are being considered. These are I don't have the list of them. They're all sitting here, but we don't have the individual list. But they're all the same liquor license that people currently have. All the same video gaming license that are currently out. and all the same amusement licenses that are currently out. So we need to get those approved so they can be signed and distributed to the individual companies in the next week or 10 days, because they need to have them in order to get those out, and get their state license and get everything renewed. So that will be on the consent agenda for later on. Village Administrator's Report, Mr. LaRock, do you have anything tonight?
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have anything this evening.
Okay. Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have no items, but I do have a Public Works meeting on 4/26 at 7 a.m. right here. Thank you.
Okay. Properties and Recreation, Mr. Martin.
No old business, no new business, but we do have our first meeting will be this Wednesday, 4/20, at 7 o'clock here. We're not meeting at a park or anything, are we? 'Cause it's going to be crappy. And basically, we're just going to go over what's going on with all the parks.
Okay.
7 o'clock, that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Public Safety and Health, Mrs. Dole.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any action items on the agenda tonight either. My next public safety meeting is on Wednesday, May 11th at 7 a.m. here in the Village Boardroom. I have some other safety tips. The latest viral social media trend is gaining traction on TikTok, and the Manteno Police would like to warn our residents of the potential dangers. Like the viral challenges before it, people are getting hurt from the innocent-sounding Orbeez challenge. Social media sites created the new trend, influencing people to shoot the soft gel Orbeez balls at unsuspecting people with a gel ball gun called an Orbeez. The Manteno Police warned that shooting Orbeez balls could cause injury if striking a person at a high speed or in a sensitive area such as the eyes. This trend also has the potential to cause fear or panic in that some of these gel blaster guns could be mistaken for actual firearms. The Manteno Police also warned that these incidents can bring serious criminal charges for the people involved in these shootings, who may think that they're doing this as a game. The police department could pursue criminal charges against anyone caught firing the guns at another person on village property. In some cases, it could result in felony charges, and the parents could also be liable for the actions of their kids. Possessing or shooting these guns on village property is a violation of village ordinance and will result in the gun getting confiscated. We share this information so that parents can be aware of this trend, and if your teen has a gel blaster gun, we encourage you to discuss the potential dangers of this new trend. Al, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to, I've seen some kids.
We have a Orbeez gun before the last week, and now they're all over the place. We have seen them in our park on 2nd Street. We pulled up a video from an unrelated event, and there were kids shooting them, so we know they're out there.
But the whole concept, they don't know that they can be arrested.
I think they're twice, and no big deal. And if kids are shooting each other that want to be shot, that's one thing. But somebody, a little kid or grandma sitting on the bench is going to get hit, and we're going to have a problem.
It's something you need to get attention, I guess, huh? So something to look out for, I guess. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. Planning and Zoning, Mr. Crockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I have an item on the agenda this evening. It's ordinance 21-32, which is an ordinance granting a special use permit to David Stoiber of High Performance Lubricants. He's the owner and petitioner for the placement of an antenna that is in excess of 60 feet. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on April 12th to consider the request for locating an antenna tower at the business located at the south end of Spruce Street. The tower would be approximately 60 feet tall. The FAA has been notified and has no issues with the tower. The owner has an adequate fall zone, and if it were to be located it would be located almost 500 feet from the interstate. Given its location near the quarry and being on the edge of town that we cannot expand into, the Planning Commission feels it would not be a visual detriment to the village and is recommending approval of the special use permit.
Did I read somewhere also that they have to obtain a special use from the county also, or is this the only one that has to be gotten?
No, there'll be a sister tower that they're going to communicate between, and so, yeah, this is the first step then he has to go to the county, I guess, to get their tower approved
Okay.
in that second location. So
Okay, but that's a separate tower.
That's a separate
Okay,
deal, yeah.
Okay, but this one can go after, if this is approved tonight, this one can go irregardless of what happens down there.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions in regards to the special use permit? Okay.
Our next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 26th, 7 a.m. in the Village Boardroom. The next Planning Commission meeting is Tuesday, May the 10th, 6 p.m., also here in the Village Boardroom. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Crockett. Finance, Mr. Geske.
Thank you, Mayor. First item I have is Resolution 2129, a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the TIF facade area number 1. Second item is ordinance 2131, an ordinance authorizing an ATM site location license agreement with Municipal Trust and Savings Bank at the property commonly known as 110 Marquette Place South in Manteno, Illinois. This was part of our purchase agreement of the new police department. Ordinance 2133, an ordinance to reallocate amounts within funds between departments and utilize additional amounts from fund balances for the year ending April 30th, 2022 budget. Ordinance 2134, an ordinance approving a budget for the Village of Manteno for fiscal year beginning May 1, 2022 and ending April 30th, 2023. In ordinance 2135, an ordinance establishing a capital projects fund in the fiscal year 2022, in payment of bills in the amount of $106,149.58, of which no TIF bills were paid and there were no bills authorized and paid between board cycle. Our next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for May 11th at 7 a.m.
Anyone have any comments or questions in regards to any of the items on Mr. Geske's agenda? One thing, the ATM site location. In the packet, there was a map showing a potential site in the parking lot for the ATM, and as Mr. Geske mentioned, this was part of our agreement for the purchase of the bank, that we would allow them to place an ATM on the site somewhere to be negotiated. The site that is, identified in the map that's on here might not be the end, the site, when it's all said and done. They're looking at a couple different sites that they would like to, potentially be considered. And the village is kind of negotiating back and forth as to what site's going to be the best for them, and then best site for, having it located in the parking lot or wherever on the police department. So the agreement tonight that we're approving is to locate it on the property, but the actual location of that item is to be determined and will be, negotiated by myself and Chris and the chief and representatives from municipal banks. Something that will work for them, but also will work for us too. We obviously, don't want it to take up as little space as possible in the parking lot, but it's got to be as functional for them too. So, there's a couple different places and they're looking, and am I correct? I know the last time I talked to you Friday, there was nothing exactly determined for sure as of yet.
Correct, yeah, they're still working on what the actual ATM will look like and where, again, it would best serve what they need to accomplish, so.
It looks like it'll take up one parking space, but it won't, take up anything else. So, and the good chance that it's going to be, located off a parking space, and then somebody could potentially pull into a parking space to access it. But it will not be a drive-through unit. It'll be a drive-up unit, and then the people will have to back out or whatever. But again, this agreement just allows for the ATM at a site to be negotiated between the village and the operator. The other items, the budget, that was a budget that we talked about last week, put on file, had a public hearing earlier before this meeting. And this is, like I said, the last meeting before the end of our fiscal year. So this budget being passed tonight will be the budget that takes effect on May 1st of coming up in the next couple weeks. So whether there's no comments or questions in regards to any other finance operation? Thank you, Mr. Geske. General Government, Mr. Phillips.
I have nothing on the agenda tonight, Mayor.
Okay. So the items that we'll be voting on in the consent agenda are as follows. Under old business, we have nothing. Under new business, we have Resolution 2129, a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the tax increment finance area number 1. Item number 2 is ordinance 2131, an ordinance authorizing the ATM site location license agreement with Municipal Trust and Savings Bank at the property commonly known as 110 Marquette Place South, Manteno, Illinois. Item number 3 is ordinance 2132, an ordinance granting a special use permit to David Stoiber of High Performance Lubricants, who is the owner and petitioner for the placement of an antenna in excess of 60 feet. Item number 4 is ordinance 2133, an ordinance to reallocate amounts within funds between departments and utilize additional amounts from fund balances for the fiscal year ending April 30th, 2022 budget. Item number 5 is ordinance 2134, which is an ordinance approving a budget for the Village of Manteno for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2022 and ending April 30th, 2023. Item number 6 is a motion to approve the liquor, amusement, and video gaming license for FY 22-23 as submitted by the village clerk. Item number 7 is ordinance 2135, which is an ordinance establishing a capital project fund in fiscal year 2022. The payment of the bills in the amount of $106,149.58, of which 0 is our TIF bills. Are there any items on the consent agenda that need to be voted on individually? Seeing none, I'd accept a motion to take a single roll call vote on the question of passage of the agenda items as read.
So moved.
Motion by Phillips, second by Geske. Roll call.
Phillips?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Crockett?
Yes.
Motion carries. I accept the motion to approve by omnibus vote the ordinances, resolutions, motions, and orders contained in the consent agenda as read. Motion by Martin. Second by Boyce. Roll call.
Martin?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Crockett?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Comments? We have anything tonight you want to talk about, Mr. Boyce?
No comments tonight. Thank you,
Mr. Martin?
Jimmy did a great job on the snow this morning.
Yeah. Cut that off for now.
That's it now.
Doesn't? Mrs. Dole?
I'll remind everybody about the shred event on May 7th across the street here at,
That's Saturday morning, is it?
yeah, Saturday morning
10
from
to
10 to
12.
12.
Yeah.
And the week before that, I believe April 30th or whatever the last Saturday in April is our community cleanup day. We won't have another meeting between now and then. I know Sarah is organizing that as she always does every year. And he has, a group, we all meet over at the park, the Legion Park I'm not sure what time. I think it used to be 8 o'clock, but I think it's 10 o'clock maybe now. And get big groups to go around and clean up. And at the, after the winter, everybody, every area needs cleanup, and we were able to pick up, get pickup loads of garbage and collect and try to spruce the town up a little bit right at the end of April. So anyone that's interested in participating in that, we'll take all the help we can get. Mr. Crockett?
No comments, Mayor.
Mr. Geske?
I have nothing.
Mr. Phillips? I don't have anything either. I take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dole, second by Crockett. Roll call.
Dole?
Yes.
Crockett?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming and for watching.